Hi, this is Gavin Henderson, instructor, Pinnacle Martial Arts. In this lesson we're going to learn the pattern Do-San. The pattern has 24 movements. The starting position is parallel ready stance, Narani Chumbisogi. And the meaning of the pattern is Do-San is the pseudonym of the patriot An Chang-ho, 1876 to 1938 AD, who devoted his entire life to furthering the education of Korea and its independent movement. Let's join Richard Walker, who will demonstrate the pattern. As you've already learnt all the stances and techniques, we won't be going to those in detail. We'll concentrate on putting the techniques together to form the pattern. So we'll join Richard in parallel ready stance, ready to go. So Richard takes a quarter turn to the left, stepping out with that left foot into a walking stance and executing a high section block. So then on the spot, he does a reverse punch, making sure that back leg comes up to get the sine wave motion. So then Richard does a spot turn, bringing that left leg in and then that right leg out into a walking stance, high section block again. This is followed by a reverse punch on the spot again. All of these moves are in normal motion. So then Richard brings his left leg up, the back leg out, and then takes a quarter turn to the left, stepping out into an L stance and doing a knife and guarding block. Richard then steps forward into a walking stance, executing a straight fingertip thrust. And so the next movement consists of two techniques. We're going to start with a release move and then we're going to go into a back fist strike, this high section. I'm really going to slow this down so that we can see how this is done. So we are doing this in normal motion, so that's one inhale, one exhale per technique, but we are doing it joined together. So Richard is going to do the release movement that you've already learnt, where he's going to rip that right hand out, going down into a sitting stance with that palm facing downwards. Having done that, Richard is then going to turn 360 degrees on that front leg, and as he spins he's going to chamber the striking hand on the outside, coming through and doing a back fist strike at eye height. And we can see that from the side angle to get a better view. Stepping into a walking stance, doing another high back fist side strike. So he brings that back foot up, turning on the right foot through 3/4 turn to his left, executing a high section block. So we're now repeating the beginning of the pattern. So we do a reverse punch on the spot, making sure that back foot goes up. And then it's a spot turn, turning to the right through 180 degrees to do a high section block. And followed once again by a reverse punch on the spot. So Richard now brings that left leg in and steps out into a walking stance, but he's going just over a quarter of a turn so that he's off at an angle. Executes a wedging block, make sure that left hand is on top of the right hand in the chamber. Then Richard will step forward, executing a middle section front snap kick, so that's belt height, landing down, doing 2 punches in fast motion. So Richard will now bring that right foot back in and step out at an angle to the right this time, executing a wedging block in walking stance, making sure that that right hand is on top of the left hand this time for the chamber. And then as before, stepping forward, executing that left footed front snap kick, middle section, down, for 2 punches in fast motion. You'll now bring that left foot back in, straightening up, going forward into a rising block in walking stance. Stepping forward again into another walking stance with a rising block. So that back foot comes in, he turns through 3/4 of a turn to the left, coming down into a sitting stance and executing a knife hand strike. And then he comes foot to foot out into a sitting stance, executing another knife hand strike, shouting the pattern name Do-san, and then returning to the parallel ready stance. So let's watch Richard do that at normal speed. And that's pattern Do-san. Much loved by all the instructors, especially myself. Some real different stuff with the release move going into the backhand strike. It's going to take a bit of practice, but you'll get there. Goodbye.